Blessed morning to St. Martin, blessed morning, Madam Chair Lady, fellow colleagues, Minister and your support staff, and individuals in the Tribune. Madam Chair Lady, through you, I would like to thank the Honorable Minister of Finance for giving a presentation, or giving a very good presentation with regard to the budget and the amendment of the budget. And I must say, even though I was not here for the official approval of this budget, I am very much grateful for the amendments that were made, and I feel as if, and I feel more confident that this country is in better hands based on the work that you have provided so far. Nevertheless, I do have some questions that I'm going to pose. And even though I think that the presentation was really good, there are some concerns that I have. And maybe these concerns are not to be addressed in this budget, but it's concerns that perhaps you can take to the 2025 budget. I'll start with one of the first ones. Personally, I have been somewhat a subject of tax assessment. And a lot of the tax assessments was incorrect. It made me that I had, as a result of that, I had to always go to the tax office, seek clarification, protest letters. Now, while doing my own, I realized that there were a lot of other individuals that was coming with also different scenarios, different stories that also had to present or had to create these letters in order for them to be rectified, for their tax situation to be rectified. There's a lot of seniors that are also going through this. Now, me, I have an accountant that can assist me at times, but a lot of seniors don't. And for them, when they get these tax assessments, sometimes unjust or unfair, it stresses them out. It creates a health issue for them, So I say this to ask the following question. How often on an annual basis, how much protest letters does the tax office receive on an annual basis? And when it comes to that, what is the amount that is reflected from those protests? So for example, we have an amended budget, we have a revenue income that we're projecting we're going to receive a certain amount. Considering that protest letters are going to come in, that means that these amounts may be more or it may be less. Usually it's less because people are protesting because they don't agree with it. My question is, what are these amounts usually, what are these amounts decrease in the tax revenues? It's going to be a decrease. And why I ask this is because, for example, you clearly stated in your presentation that over the years, in 2022, 2023, that we over budget for personnel costs. So I want to also see how much we've over budget, for example, in the last 2-3 years, when it comes to tax revenues. So, and is that addressed in the amendment as well? If it's addressed, perfect. Then I talk about the next topic of banks. Recently, in the newspaper, in the media, I heard that you stood up for the people of St. Martin, especially customers, when it comes to companies telling them there have to be a minimum with regard to how much they are charged when they're purchasing something. I applaud that stance, and I believe that's the correct stance to make. But I have another situation. And I speak on behalf of our seniors when I talk about this situation. It used to be in the past that seniors could have gone to the bank, they received their monies, they could have gone to the bank, go to the ATM, and they could have received 25 guilders, for example. Today they're told, or the machines tell them, that the minimum they're allowed to take is 50 guilders. Now you know our seniors, they don't get much. They don't want to take off everything because the minute it's in their hand, it goes like water. So is it possible that you can look or talk to the banking industry to return that minimum amount to 25 guilders? Because I'm aware that sometimes even with the, for example, if they have 50 guilders on their account, because of the service charge, they can't touch that money. They can't touch their money. And it's not fair, it's their money. So I'm asking you if you can look into this matter. I also would like to echo one of the concerns of MP that spoke before me, MP York, with regard to the lottery booth. From my knowledge, there was a whole project done with the inventory of how much booths are located throughout St. Martin, how much different companies we have. I believe there was even conversation with the booth holders. They were already expecting to pay a certain amount for the booths that they have out there throughout the community. Now, St. Martin is strapped for cash. And if they were already on board with regard to payment, and it reached as far as the only thing that had to take place was an LB to go to the governor to sign for a date of effect, to put it in effect, then my question is, did something go wrong? Did something go wrong? What is the status on that? We're strapped for cash. And one thing I would say about the previous government is that they found ways of generating funds. And I think you're also, as a minister, you've already started that to prove that you're also capable of doing just that as well. And that's why I want you to take my comments as a recommendation moving into 2025. The budget of 2024 is the budget. Who are the founders of the budget? Is this budget created solely by you, or is it part of a continuation from the former government? I need to know if this, I need to know this answer for me to understand also the stance of certain comments that are made in Parliament today, for me to put things into perspective, to know where is it coming from. Is it from you? Was it there before? So that I can, at the end of the day, decide on how also I'm going to vote. Madam Chair Lady, through you, there is a lot going on. The member of Parliament before me talked about the high rise in crime. There is a lot going on in the community. And as much as I see the law enforcement officers out there doing their utmost best with the limited tools that they have, somehow I feel we're still losing the war. Somehow I feel we're still losing the war. And my question to you, Madam Chair Lady, through you, Madam Chair Lady, is what exactly is the status of each and every one of our justice ministries? In regard to, for example, the departments are supposed to have, for example, 5 persons. Is all positions filled, or is it 5, but they only have 2? What is the status pertaining to our justice ministries? I spoke about, in one of my previous presentations, I spoke about putting back the intervention team. I spoke about a scanner to stop all these weapons and drugs from coming into our community and finding its way into our youths, into our young adults, into our children that are going to school. I spoke about these things, not because I just want to speak about them, just to throw them out in the air because it sounds good. It's because I'm hoping that it will become a reality, that these advice become a reality. And if you have something better, then yes, please, by all means, it is high time that we make the effort to win back the battle. We talk about GB. Each and every one of us is a victim when it comes to GB, because all of us live here. Some of us have generators. I don't. Some of us don't. Compared to a couple months ago when we had load shedding on a constant basis, things have slightly improved. Now today, the Honorable Prime Minister, through you, Madam Chair Lady, have found a way that we can get someone to finance the engines. That's one option that was stated from the very beginning. Because I remember when he came, he stated his plan, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Madam Chair Lady, this GB issue didn't just start when this sitting government took office. It was years before that. And it means that it is whoever's sitting, their responsibility to address these issues. I hear a lot of persons say, yes, this 75 million, we're going to strangle St. Martin, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So I'm glad when you state today, it is a backup. So I'm hoping that you are still looking, you're still looking for an alternative solution. But in the meantime, my question to you is, Madam Chair, through you, Madam Chair Lady, is, have the government of St. Martin receive an alternative option to this GB crisis that the people are facing today? Has anyone, a member of Parliament, whether in the sitting coalition or in the minority, has anyone, even within the ministries, brought forward an alternative to this solution? Madam Chair Lady, there's a lot of other questions that I can also pose at this moment. But what I will do for now is to reserve the other questions for the second round. But before I do that, let me just add one more question in there. In the media recently, there has been a situation with regard to Prince William Alexander School, our one special needs school. It's in the media. Is it possible, through you, Madam Chair Lady, that the Minister of Education can please give us a breakdown of exactly what the situation is, how we can assist, so that we can figure out how we can assist? Because if what I'm reading in the media is true, this cannot go unaddressed. Madam Chair Lady, I reserve all my other questions for the second round and looking forward to my answers. Thank you.
Was just having a discussion with MP Aaron there a moment. So we had MP Brug has concluded his statements, and I now offer the floor to MP Lacruz. By the way, my brief discussions with MP Aaron had to do about the continuation of the meeting and the sequence. So yeah, thank you for that. Thank you, MP Brug, and I now give the floor to MP Lacruz as mentioned.